Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this double ZZ fold card. And I know it's not a Tuesday, and I know it's not a festive Friday, but drum roll please. It is the day that the holiday mini catalogue goes live. So we are allowed now to show you the inside, but more importantly, you can go online and you can get your hands on all this lovely stuff. So if you check the description box below or pop to my blog, you'll find a link to my online store, and I'll be more than happy to help you do that. If you don't actually have a demonstrator and you would like one, please, pick me. I would love to have you as one of my customers. But anyway, back to the task in hand. So this is a double ZZ fold card. It's pretty obvious why it gets that name. So without further ado, let me show you how to do it. It is so quick and easy. So bring in the paper trimmer, and I actually need to extend the arm for this one. So what we need is a piece of cardstock, the body of the card, and it's 8.5 by 9. So if you pre-cut it, you have to remember to make sure you're doing all the scoring on the right side because they're so similar. So the 9-inch, let me just move the card out of the way for a quick second. So along the 9-inch side, we need to score it at 3. So just line the edge up at 3 and score, and then line it up at 6 and score. So now we have equal score marks, and then this is the 8.5-inch side. And what we need to do is we need to line this up at 5.5 and cut that. So now we've got two pieces that are 9 scored at 3 and 6. This is 5.5 inches tall, which you will recognize is the usual height for a regular card. And this little piece is 3 inches. So let me just pop the paper trimmer out of the way because we don't really need that anymore. And what I'm going to do is I am going to fold it on the score lines to make the first ZZ, and then we'll do exactly the same with the 3-inch piece. So we're folding it back on itself, so we've got two pieces that are the same, just different heights. The next ingredient is some designer series paper, and we need 3 pieces, and they need to be 5.25 by 2 3/4. So it's really just the 1/4-inch layer smaller than that. So that's for the main body. And then we need 3 pieces of Misty Moonlight, which are 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And the basic white is 2.5 by 2.5. So without further ado, let me get started and let me build the main body of the card. So we're just going to pop some rolling adhesive on these pieces, and then we can get them stuck on. I cut these pieces out of 6 by 6. So it wasn't 12 by 12. So there isn't really any continuity of the pattern. If you were using 12 by 12 cardstock and it had a defined pattern, sometimes it's nice to continue to do that. But I got mine out of this lovely pack, which is actually available online, and it is called, oh my gosh, I've completely forgotten, Iconic Celebration. So that is the paper that I'm using. So I'm going to stick the first piece on and just have the 1/4-inch layer around it. Second piece in the middle, again with a 1/4-inch around. And then the last piece goes on. And like I say, if you were using 12 by 12 and there was any continuity in the pattern, it would be best to just cut it and cut it and cut it. But snowflakes, they're deliciously higgledy-piggledy. So that is the front of the card. Well, it will go that way up because that's the way it would open. So we don't need that for a little while until we're finished doing this lovely designed piece. So what we need to do is we need to get an extra little piece of basic white cardstock, And I'm going to bring in Smoky Slate, and I'm going to be using the Snowflake stamp set, and just ink it up in Smoky Slate. Stamp it on the basic white, and then what I'm going to do is bring in the delicious little die set that matches and die cut this snowflake out. So as usual with dies, here's one I made earlier, so it's nicely cut out. Let me just pop the ink away before I start wearing that. But then what I'm going to do is, because it's a snowflake and snowflakes really should glisten a little bit, I'm going to bring in a piece of scratch paper, and I'm going to bring in the Wink of Stella and put Wink of Stella all over this. Usually I just use it for little highlights of things, but because it's a snowflake and all of the snowflakes should glisten in the winter sun. Oh, winter sun, gosh. So there we go. And I don't know if you can, I don't think it's going to show up, but anyway, believe me, it glistens, and it glistens beautifully. However, this one's wet, so I'm going to pop that over to one side and bring in yet another. Here's one I made earlier, and I did this one, I cut it out and I Wink of Stella'd it so it's nice and dry. So we will take a piece of Misty Moonlight, the 2 3/4 size, and the first 2 1/2, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp a snowflake on there using the Misty Moonlight, but the Misty Moonlight is quite a dark color, so I want to do it 3rd generation. So we'll ink it up full strength, stamp it off again, and then stamp it onto the cardstock, so there's just the palest little version of it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the greeting, and this one's sending a flurry of happy wishes, which comes out of the same one-of-a-kind stamp set, and I'm going to stamp that full strength right across the image so it shows up. So that's that one. My goodness. And then we can quickly attach this to its Misty Moonlight layer, and that one is ready. The next one, what I did was I brought in the dies, and this is iconic imagery which goes with the iconic designer series paper, and in it there are these lovely little stars / snowflakes. So I thought I would just cut 2 rows top and bottom. Oops, let me just bring in my silicone mat, so if I fall off the edge, it's not really going to create such a problem and a sticky mess. So just make sure we've got sticky on all of the pieces, and attach that to another one of the 2 3/4 inch Misty Moonlight squares. And then the last one is where the snowflake is going to be, but I thought it looked a little bit plain when I made my first one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the Misty Moonlight in a little piece of sponge and just catch the edges, just so it gives it a little bit of a highlight on the edge. And that can just go on. So now what we need to do is attach these to where they're going to go on the card. So this one will be the one on the very right hand side, just because when it's standing up on your lucky recipient's shelf or mantle, it stands like this, obviously, you know, 2D image, you can still see the greeting, and I left this side plain to be where you can write the message that you want, and that was the piece with the little snowflakes on it. So that goes in the middle. And then last but not least, this is the one that the snowflake is going to sit on the front, but we'll do that last because it's going to be put on with dimensionals. So now here we are. We have the card and the base, and they're both skinny. And in order to make sure that we attach them in the right place, I'm going to bring in an envelope because we want it to fit inside a standard envelope. So if we put this over to the edge of the envelope, and this can come over here, if we line it up with the other side of the envelope, we know it's going to fit and it will still close and all that good stuff. So you line one edge up of the envelope here and the other edge here, and then just make sure that it's sort of eyeballed even in the middle because we want it to look even. We can't do our usual ZZ fold where we flip it over because we're trying to attach it with the envelope and all these different elements. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open this quickly and stick adhesive over at the very far side, and then run a little bit here because we know this is the folding edge. And then when we close this down, we know all the glue on the inside is going to be hidden. Take the envelope away because we don't need that anymore. And now we can do our usual ZZ fold trick because we know we can't put adhesive any further than this fold, otherwise it will stick the card down. So we just put 2 rows of adhesive there and attach it, and now we've got that lovely double ZZ fold going on. And then we're going to bring in, oh, I wish this would show up in the light. It's such a shame that it doesn't. But anyway, believe me, it's sparkly. And then I'm going to bring in some mini dimensionals. Oops, and pop 3 on the back. Peel the backings off really quickly. And then stick it to the very front of the card. And then last but not least, I'm going to bring in these lovely faceted gems. They are Faceted Gems Trio Pack. Trio because there are 3 different colors. And I am going to be using the lightest gray one. Not really the silver, it's just sparkly and it's lovely. So there you have it, the same. So it's got the sparkle with the wink of Stella and the gem on the front. It's got the little area sort of tucked out the way so your greeting doesn't show up if it looks on the shelf like this. And then a refrain with a darker greeting on the back. So that, my loves, is the card. Like I say, Stampin' Up! Holiday Mini Catalogue goes live today. Oh, it's so exciting. I want some more stuff, so I've been waiting for it to be today so I can get it because we're limited to how many of things we can buy as demonstrators. If you like what you've seen, please consider subscribing. Give me a thumbs up. I always love and appreciate thumbs up. All the directions and dimensions will be on my blog. The link to my online store will be in my blog. That will also be down below, where I always encourage you, if you have any questions or comments, to please pop them there. Happy shopping. Can't wait. And last but not least, thanks so much for watching.